Today, I just want to talk to you about Fox bodies, about this setup versus that setup. Stock bottom end 302 versus 351, more race car. This is more street car. I'm just going to vibe out. We're just going to talk, okay? Like, it's going to be like this. I already know this because I've shot the video and I'm coming back in trying to redo this intro because there's a lot of good information in this video, but it's all over the place, okay? But I want you guys to enjoy this and take from it what you will, because there's a lot of useful information in this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do it. Guys, I've addressed this a couple different times, but we're going to attack it in a different way tonight. And here's what I want to say about it. Before we even get started in the video, there's no wrong way. Obviously, some people have their hearts set on one particular thing, whether, man, I just love the sound of a supercharger, right? Or I love the way a turbo sounds, the way the power comes in on either or. So if you're that guy, then obviously you do whatever you want to do. But if you're on the fence and you just don't know, there's a couple things we need to talk about before we dive too deep into this.
Heck the drip, check the tag, stay fresh with the drag swag, hoodies, hats, shirts so clean, run the streets, rep the scene. Check us out on Etsy, the drag swag.
You kind of have the more budget-friendly, immediate option, right? Which is going to be like your 302 based engine. Obviously, you've probably already got it, and if you don't, they're really easy to find. Versus a 351, they start to get a little harder to find. You know, you kind of got to weigh out your time frame and then your budget and then long term. In front of you guys here, we got two different options for you. We got a 351 based car here and then a 302 based car here. Now this engine that's in this car, the bottom end is completely stock, which means it is the original pistons, rings, crankshaft, bearings, all that stuff. It has had an oil pump. I did put that in there. But outside of that, this is essentially the exact way this car came from the factory as far as the bottom end of the engine. Now down here, that's a different story. This thing's completely different. This is a 351 Windsor converted over to a 351 Roller, and then it's been stroked out to a 393. You can leave it a 351 high compression if you want to, low compression. You can go 408 stroker. All right, so first things first, let's talk budget options. Which one's gonna be most budget friendly? That's gonna be your 302 based engine or whatever engine is already in the car. Makes sense, right? So if you've already got one with a 351 swap, just leave it. That's your most budget friendly setup. So let's start from there. You bought yourself a budget engine or you've either already got it and now you want to know kind of where to go. This is where you can build an absolute animal and do it over a period of time to where it doesn't feel like it cost you a lot of money. Does that make sense? What I mean by that is, let's pretend for a minute that this is the engine that came in this car. We'll say it's a 351. It doesn't matter, 302, 351. So we've got this thing. This is the cheapest route. So what we're going to do probably is throw a camshaft in it. You know, if it's fuel injected, that's fine. If it's carbureted, whatever you want to do. But you're probably going to put a cam in it, some headers, and eventually you'll probably find a set of heads. So this car, 302, 351 base, is going to be somewhere around 400 horsepower. We'll just say that, okay? 350, 400 horsepower, somewhere in there. It all depends on your cam. And depends on your head selection. So that's a good starting point for most people. You can get in the game and have fun. Now you're already into this thing, probably a couple grand at least, more than likely. By the time you buy your head, you buy your cam, you do some intake work, some headers and things like that, you're gonna be in this thing a couple of grand. It just depends on if you buy new parts or not. Let's say you buy your heads 1 month, and then later on down the line, you buy a cam, you pick one up used and things like that. So it's not gonna hurt you too bad. If you're sitting on 351 like this, now this is where things start to really change for you because you can make a lot of power. You can make easily 800 horsepower with a 351 stock block, meaning the block's not gonna split on you and come apart like the 302s do, which by the way, 302s can definitely handle 600 horsepower plus, but they start to get a little fragile and it's all about harmonics, but we're not gonna get into that right now. So let's just stay on track. So you're at that 400 horsepower mark. That's pretty good, right? In a light Fox body, you can make something happen. You can go to the track, run some pretty good numbers. 400 horsepower at the track, you can run mid sevens for sure, no doubt. But that's not gonna be enough for you. Eventually you're gonna want more. So what do we do now? Do we go like fully built engine? Do we order ones from somewhere with a dart block? Do we put a Coyote in it? Do we do all this stuff? So here's where you have to understand your money, your expectations, and your timeline. For me, I don't have 20 grand in cash that I can go out and just buy a built engine. I just don't have that, right? And most people don't. So for me, it's easier to, not that I would, but you get what I'm saying, put $20,000 in this thing over a few years maybe, or 10 years, or whatever it takes you to do. And essentially that's what you have to do. You have to either decide if you're a patient person or if you want it all right now. So for a lot of people trying to build something like this, it's just not good enough because it doesn't make enough horsepower right now for them. That's where you get into the guys that go out and they spend a ton of money on these engines and they do all this stuff and they're ultimately not happy because there's so many problems associated with dropping a high horsepower engine in a car like this. Even though you spent the money, you had the money, you went and did it. Let's say you took out a 401k loan. That's something that a lot of people can do, right? You go out and take a 401k loan out, you drop 15, 20 grand in this thing, you drop your motor in it, now you got problems. You're gonna have issues regardless because it's a new build, right? But now you're gonna have issues with suspension, especially in the back. More than likely, you don't have a good tire, you don't have good suspension components, you don't have enough axle in the back, your gear's wrong. There's all these things that you're gonna have to address if you go pour all this money into this car, right? Transmission, that's another issue. So the reason why I wanna do this video is because I think a lot of people aren't patient enough to take an engine like that, stock engine, and then eventually put heads on it, eventually put a cam, then maybe a supercharger. If you're just patient, either one of these setups will work. Rather than going out and buying that big engine or getting one built or going too crazy if you don't have the supporting components. I think that's where a lot of people get into issues. This 302 up here with a supercharger will make 500-600 horsepower turned up with enough boost. This 351 will make 500 horsepower on motor with no nitrous, no boost or anything. So which one's gonna cost more? This or this? I honestly haven't run the numbers, but I would say they're relatively close. You got to think the supercharger is around 5 grand for everything, roughly, by the time you get it all said and done. There's cheaper options out there, and there's more expensive options. You already got to buy heads, you already got to buy a cam and things like that. So where's that difference in money going in this engine? A stroker kit? Well, that's not $4,000 or $5,000. So you're not going to save a ton of money. Now, don't get me wrong, by going big cubic inch 351 stroker versus, you know, stock 302 bottom end blower, but they're going to work out to be around the same horsepower regardless. Now, which one's more capable? This one. The 351 will be more capable. With that being said, what's the right decision? Which way should I go? Should I go small engine, wait it out, put a little money here, a little money there in it? Or should I just go ahead and save up for a 351? Should I put a Coyote in my car? Should I put a big block? You get what I'm saying. These are questions that I cannot answer for you, obviously, and I'm not gonna pretend to be able to. First off, you gotta understand yourself. Like, what can you tolerate? Can you tolerate waiting? Is that something you can do? Because look, you're gonna have money in this thing regardless, but it's either all at once or later on. I prefer the later on type thing, a little here, a little there. You can buy some things in big chunks, of course. You can buy engine, transmission, and then at least you don't have to worry about that. But you're probably gonna tear up your rear end. You're probably gonna tweak the car if you ever hook the thing, because you really need some good subframe connectors on the cars. You're gonna have that issue, you need tires. The list goes on and on. Let me try to sum this up. I think most people, if you're questioning this right now, and you have to ask the question and you're searching for answers, I think you need to be a little patient. Be a little patient. That's what I think you need to do, rather than go out and try to do it all at once. Look, we have a shop here, we have a lift, we have experience, and even Berger was stressed with his car, and he went and bought a bottom end that was completely built, a 427. All we had to do was slap heads on this thing, drop it in, right? Done. No. Thousands of dollars later with nuts and bolts and harmonic balancers and everything else you could possibly think of. Yes, we got the engine in the car, and it's a badass engine, y'all. But think about it. What are you going to do with this engine? You're probably going to want to go race. If you want to race the car, you've got to have the suspension. And I'm not talking about strange single 10-way adjustable shocks here or a coil-over kit that you can put on the car. You really, with that type of power this thing's capable of, his car, you need some good suspension. You got to have good axles. 31 splines may get you by, but you're going to really need to upgrade there, right? You need the right gearing in the car, and you need a very good transmission. So are you willing to go the extra mile to spend that money? I don't know. I don't know. Most people aren't. You just want to street drive it. It sound good, look good, spin tires. If that's the case, hey man, either way you can't go wrong. Either way. And your rear end will probably hold up as long as you keep street tires on it. And your transmission, it might hold up. I think for most people, they're not drag racers, right? They just want to go out, have fun with the car, go to some cars and coffee. The things sound good, look good. If that's the case, just stick with your 302. put a camshaft in it, put some heads on it, you're good to go. Maybe put a little shot of nitrous on it. It's just turned into a rambling session. That's what this is, just rambling. It's all over the place because there's no right answer, I guess, is what I have found. Everybody's always like, what should I do? I don't know, man, because my opinion changes day to day. It really does. There's some days I get out here and this is my favorite car. I love the way it sounds. I love the race car vibe to it, aspect to it. I like the way it sits, it starts, it shifts, it drives, like everything about it. The stance of it with the little, fatties and skinnies, like, it's just perfect for me today. That's the vibe I want. And then there's days when it's not. There's days when this is the vibe for me right here, right? And these are two totally different cars, completely different, although you might not think so, because this does have a cam, this does have heads and a supercharger, but they're just two completely different cars. And it's hard to explain to someone that maybe has never been in these two types of cars here. And let me try to do a better job of explaining this for you guys. Let me get you set up here. The difference in the red car and the green car. The red car is so streetable, man. Now, the B303 cam gets a little, it wants to kind of buck and shit in the neighborhood sometimes. It's not, it's got a stock T5 in it. It's got 373 gears. And that's roughly it, some exhaust. Like I can get in this car and I can take it anywhere I want to go. Anywhere I want to go, and I'll probably have no issues. It's got heat, it's got AC, the suspension's real plush on it. It's just a stock car with a supercharger and a cam, right? I think most people can relate to that. Now, this car here is completely different. This car has a different feel to it. Because the suspension is tight on it, the car is real stiff, kind of like a race car, right? Has no power steering. So it's a little tight to turn, but hey, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I enjoy it. It's loud. It's rowdy. It stinks. The exhaust smells, it's just got dumps on it, turn downs. I think most people are going to be safe with this. This is going to be the car that most people want to drive. But this car is something you crave. After you have one of these and you drive them for years, this becomes a fever dream for you. It's like, you got to have it, right? It's all you can think about sometimes is that rowdy car on slicks and skinnies and just cam beaten down and everything just simplified under the hood. No AC, no heat, just super clean, no wires everywhere. Like that's something that a lot of people start to crave after they've had this and experienced it. It started out kind of like, what should you do, money-wise? Like what's the better option? And it's turned into kind of just everything that I think about when it comes to these cars. So I guess we could talk about price real quick. Which car is worth more? The Retro is a perfect example of how people get screwed when they pay $20,000 for, it's a beautiful car, I gotta have it, it's got a supercharger, and Now granted, this car is pretty much all stock underneath other than some homemade exhaust, but you see how dirty this thing is? Now I will say there's no rust, zero rust on this car, and partly due to the fact that it's got oil everywhere. But these are the cars that'll get you. Now, I like this car this way. It's honest. It's dirty, it's greasy, but it's a real car. Like it's not been tweaked on, modified under here, tried to, cleaned up real quick with some degreaser and shot with some satin black paint. This is all original shit under here. Look at the rear end. See? Look. So, look at the gas tank. Now, this has been fixed. The rear end's been resealed and fixed, so it doesn't leak anymore. That's where all that come from. See this stock suspension stuff here? Nothing crazy. Underneath this car, completely different. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just show you real quick from the back side, from the bottom here. See, just completely different. A lot better components under this car. It's a lot cleaner. You would never suspect it from the outside, or most people wouldn't. So here's what I'm trying to say. This car is super clean on the outside. It's just got that look, it's got that vibe, but underneath, it's this car, you probably wouldn't suspect it being that clean underneath because it's more of kind of like a race car, right? What you get with a car like this is something that has been gone through and has got really good parts in it. That's what you get with this, but you don't notice it. Most people only care about the looks. And I think this one right here, let's step back. I think for most people, the red car is going to win in the looks category for everybody, just because it's more of that street cruiser. It looks super nice, but it's not. It's just a stock car, y'all. There again, going back to which one's worth more, I would say this one would be worth more than that one, but I don't know. You guys tell me, which one do you think? This is a perfectly streetable car. I need to mention this. Like, I can drive this thing anywhere I want to go. It's got a 6-speed Tremec in it. Crazy video all over the place, but I think there were some really good points in here that can help some of you guys out. So this is the way my brain thinks. I'm all over the place. Yeah, but this, and then, oh, I'll go over here to that, and just, I'm all over the place. Anyway, I hope this video helped you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up though. And as always, thanks for watching.